Alrighty, welcome to Nafy Paints. First video up will be how to paint a orc boy's skin. Now I use this for all the orcs in my army, from the regiment all the way up to the Warboss. But you can go more coats or more detail or less as it suits you, and also you can change the colours around. But here I'm just using an old dry brush and I'm getting down the first coat of Waaagh flesh. It's watered down a little bit too much, so you could probably put a little less water in than I've done here. It's not going to do anything in the long run, but it will slow down your drying time. So get that on the face, around the back of the neck, on the arms, don't forget the fingers. And for this guy, he's got a little bit of his top of his pecs showing, so don't forget that. Sometimes you miss that on the orcs. There's the other hand. This will be the hand that holds the shooter. It's a little bit more fidgety, nowhere really to hold it, but yeah, so get these coats down. I think this was about two to three coats because I watered it down a little bit too much. But yeah, again, yeah, sorry about the camera zooming in and out, but hopefully I'll fix that in the future. So that's after it's been base coated with the Waaagh flesh. So once you're happy with that and you've got a good coverage on all the models, then what you need to do is, I'm using the same brush, which I shouldn't be really, but grab a dry brush, wipe most of it off as usual, and this will be a dry brush of Warboss green. So again, we're just trying to get it all over the paintbrush so I can give it a really good dry brush. Test on the old finger. And then yep, just slap it all over the model. Again, you don't have to worry about paint going on the shirt or the pants or the belt or the gun. You can always come back and fix those up later. It's better to be neat as possible, but I'm a messy painter when I lay down my base coats, so I usually generally just tidy it up towards the end. So I didn't grab enough paint there, so I'm going back for seconds. Have another crack. So yeah, with this dry brush, I'm looking at all the raised edges, but also I like to get it in the flat parts as well, just a little bit, just to brighten up the darkness of the Waaagh flesh. So after you do this, you'll find your model already comes to life. This is a fun step, there's no thought required. Just don't go too heavy, that's the problem. A lot of people have dry brushing, they just go a little bit too heavy. If you go with less, it's easier to add more than try to fix up a real heavy dry brushed area. So just trying to pick out all the muscle definition, all the knuckles, and again I'm pressing quite hard here to try and get it on the flat parts of the muscles as well, but you don't want to get it into the recesses there. This is the other arm, so you can get it everywhere. There's no real thought going into it, as you can see, just back and forward, up and down. Now you're probably thinking, why did you just grab the paint? It's pretty dry once it hits the model, so it's easily able to be touched. Again, you don't want to rub it, but it's a light hold of it, it's fine. So look at that, you just pick out all the knuckles, all the fingers. Nice and easy, it's a fun job. I like dry brushing, it's nice and fun. Alright, so that's him dry brushed. So now for the third step, well, after we have a look at it, yeah, looks good, mate. Thank you for showing us again. We'll go in with Biel-tan green. Biel-tan green, I don't water this down at all. I go straight out of the pot and just soak the model in it. You want to get it everywhere. This will bring the dry brush back down if it's a little bit too bright, and also it'll just tie in the recesses to the areas where you've dry brushed a little bit. If you wanted, you could stop here and the skin will look fine, but I'll go through another couple of steps as you'll see. But yeah, just get it everywhere. Because I go in quite thick, this does take a little while to dry, so you're best doing it, you know, 5 to 10 boys at a time. Otherwise you're going to be sitting there, you know, for 10 minutes waiting for these pools to dry up. We'll do the face. So yeah, it's another fun step. Get that green on. It really brings out the areas you've highlighted once you hit it with this green. If the camera will focus. Alright, so once this is on, again, don't forget the chest. This guy's got a little bit of a chest area, and his neck. You want to get in and around there, under his chin. And what's the next? Yeah, so just keep slapping it on. And once this is all down, just wait for it to dry up. We can move on to step number 4. Alright, so that dried up really nicely. So step 4, this is the step where you get to take your time. We're back to the Warboss green, and all I'm trying to do now is just pick out any raised areas, and with the muscles you want to paint the flat areas, but you don't want to paint too far into the recesses, because it'll just go back to the original, the step before you washed it and dry brushed it. So here we're just picking out the edges, getting a rough shape. What I usually do, I usually go around the part of the model I'm painting, in this case the head, and I'll just pick out roughly where I want to start laying colours down, and then yeah, slowly just tying it back in, so little nicks here and there to try blend the colours together, make it a little bit more natural. So yeah, nice and slow. This is the slowest part of painting the orc skin for me. Takes the longest. It's a lot of where should you put the colours, but once you get into the groove of things, it sort of just, it flows really well. Just patience. So all I can emphasise here is patience. So just going around again, just darken it up a little bit, or brighten it up in this case. Around the back of the ears, tie them in, and there, that'll really start making the face or any part of the skin pop out. Alright, so just keep doing that until the face is fully painted. Again, just take your time. It's the number one thing, take your time. Alright, so that should be enough of the face. So we'll move on to one of the arms. Now the way I do these muscles is I usually start at the top where it meets the shoulder, and I always just pull down to get a rough idea where I want to paint. So I sort of just follow the muscles. Again, just not going too far into the I think here I changed my brush. I was having problems with a couple of my brushes. Yeah, I don't think this one was any good either. This is an older brush, so I'm sure I changed the brush again after this. But anyways, so just lay down the Warboss green, and then what we do, once you've mapped it out, maybe I'll do it a bit later, but again, I start to go across the muscle to try and tie it in a little bit, give it a little bit more detail. You probably can't see it on the camera, but it does help the muscle, you know, look more defined. But yeah, no, here we're just going down the muscle, and then that's the face. So once you've done that, that's the face done. That's the gun arm completed. That's with the Warboss green, and there's the other arm finished with the Warboss green. Yeah, nice. So then the last step of the skin that I do is I use the final highlight of Skarsnik green. Is it Skarsnik? Yeah, Skarsnik green. And I just follow what I did with the Warboss green, but it's just a little bit less. So just picking out those little edges, you know, really trying to make the face pop out here. Yeah, so we're going around the ears here. Again, just following the previous step, but just painting inside that, so leaving a lot of that under the Skarsnik green. And the Skarsnik green, I use it really just to make the skin pop out, give it that nice bright look. I might have gone a little bit heavy there, but when you're painting 100+ boys, you're not going to notice one guy with slightly brighter green lips. So yeah, just take your time again. Go as heavy or as light as you like. Now here I'm just going across the muscle, or the ear in this case, but I do it the same for every part of the orc, and then just try to really tie those colours back together. Around the chin, I think I'm going to do now. Yes, we go around the chin. These chins on these boys are quite easy. And the lips, some people are starting to paint the lips with like a more of a fleshy tone, but I've been working on these models for so many years now. I've started with the green, so I just stuck with the green, but that fleshy tone does look good. Just painting his Adam's apples, and now just getting to the neck. The necks on the orcs are quite fun. I usually just paint those, you know, tendons or muscles, whatever they are, straight, and then I'll come back and run my brush across them to tie them in. So yeah, this part's quite easy. You can have a bit of fun under here, not too much thought. Yeah, there we go, I'm just going to run it across now, and you can't really see it on camera, but in person it usually ties those parts of the model together quite nicely. So let's do the other side, and you can't see on this camera, but just above his armor plate, a little bit of his chest is, maybe I'll do it, yeah, here we go, I'm just going to paint it now. It's a tiny little bit of his chest is showing through. So don't forget, if you do paint this particular chest, don't forget that part there, otherwise you'll be regretting it when you got to come back and do it later. So yeah, same thing with the muscles, just start with the up and down of following the muscle, and I'll come back and I'll go across. Let my brush get a little bit dry there, so a little bit more wet paint, just crack back in, a little bit of a tendon there. I've painted a few of these boys, so I've got used to this. Some of them I do better than others, just depends what mood I'm in. After you've painted 100 of the orc boys, you start to get a bit burnt out, but I had fun with this one today because I hadn't painted one for quite a while, and been a tutorial video. I thought I'd take a little bit extra time. Sometimes I rush them. It's going to focus there, there we go. Yeah, you can't really see it on the camera, but when you paint it, you get the gist of it, and that's it. There he is, done. So it's pretty basic orc skin, and then once you add the other colours around it, it'll really stand out. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll get some more videos with better quality in the future. If there's any videos you'd like to see, I could maybe attempt to do, just post them in the comments, and thanks for watching Nathy Paints. Catch ya!